Welcome back to the Fundamentals Podcast, where we talk all things related to sports from a fan's perspective. What's up?
What's good? What's good?
So Carter Six album, and before we get into sports, first of all, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. We talk all things related to sports from a fan's perspective, as I said, and we just be on here having fun. So like and subscribe. This is an opinion-based show. Let me get that out the way. An
Mm-hmm.
opinion-based show. So if you don't like, or agree, that's fine. Converse with us about it. We're open for the discussion, so please converse with
Facts.
us about it.
Facts.
Um, so before I get into some sports, I wanted to give you a history. Uh, Me and Adrian have been friends since 10th grade, and some of the biggest things that we conversated about were sports and hip hop. We're both
Yeah.
hip hop heads. We're both sports junkies, and that's some of our bigger conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Carter Six came out yesterday, and I remember uh, I remember me and you had the conversation about Lil Wayne, and I hadn't listened to a Lil Wayne album really since Carter 2. The
Mm-hmm.
last Lil Wayne album I enjoyed was Carter 2. Carter 3, I gave a listen to when that came out. I guess that was maybe 2009 or 2010 ballpark.
Yeah, something
Um,
like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't really listened to a Lil Wayne album since. So yesterday, randomly, I was like, you know what? Let me give a run through of this Carter Six.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I went through and I listened to it again this morning. Just to be sure. There's been a lot of criticism of the album, and rightfully so. Now there's two things about this album I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I see where he was trying to go, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say the ABC 1 2 3 flow is kind of the rhyming for 6 bars, like the way he was very. He hasn't grown aesthetically to me, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's very much Lil Wayne, but trying too hard, right? Like I've run out of things to talk about, so I'm just gonna do a bunch of rhyming, and it was like very, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I have it. Of course, I ain't heard it. To
yeah,
be honest with you, I as much of a music hip hop person I used to be. I'm not that same person anymore over the
yeah,
last years. I mean,
for
music
sure,
hasn't really piqued my interest with a lot of things that I hear. So
yeah,
I don't really indulge in a lot of it or actually look out. Of course, I heard Carter Five, and
yeah, yeah,
you know, he had a couple of cuts on there that I will play.
yeah,
But for the most part, I wasn't really impressed.
yeah,
Same with Carter 4, Carter 3. About like you, after Carter 2, it seems like he's bored
yeah,
with a lot of rapping. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he don't, like you said, I don't even think it's the fact that like you said, you were saying it seems like he's trying too hard, but I don't think he's trying at all.
okay,
That's the
fair,
side perspective I look at it. I don't think he's
okay,
trying at all. It's just like I just throw something together and people gonna eat it up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
The,
saying?
the the
So
Wayne fans are gonna eat
yeah,
it.
they're gonna eat it up. And
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say he's clever with a lot of rhymes. Of course, I haven't heard, like I said, I haven't heard this one, so I have to
yeah,
check it out to see what can make of it. But he gets clever. He has a little clever punchline here, but that's what Wayne has always been, a punchline rapper. But I think
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with a lot of people. I like the Carter 1, Carter 2 Wayne, and I like the style of his flow.
Right, right.
But if I was to be openly honest, I like Wayne better when he was first with Cash Money than what he ends up coming out, what he end up becoming. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was actually seemed like he was writing rhymes or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
he
Like the
seemed
400
better to me.
degrees.
Yeah, like the 400 degrees.
Yeah.
Your
Or well, yeah.
400 degree
Your
Wayne.
hot
Your
boys.
hot boy Rain. When
Yeah.
he was, cause he was really. It seemed, of course, they all get hungry, and then after a while, it's like I don't really have to do much anymore. It's
Right.
like the hunger is gone, but
Right.
I just felt like a lot of his music, especially well, even in Carter 1 and Carter 2, when you listen to the songs, it sounds like he's actually constructing something that has some kind of purpose
Right.
to it. Then after that, it really start. But you still also
Yeah.
listen to his stuff, and it almost sounds like a lot of it's just freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how he comes off to me now. It's like everything you do is freestyle, so it don't have no substance. There isn't really, you gotta kind of gotta listen and catch the punchline and be like, oh, that was pretty slick right there. Yeah, that was a dope line. That was, but then when you listen
Right.
to it and you're like, but what was the song about?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm
And
with
that,
you. I
and
agree.
it's so a lot of times that's and if that's where I'm at with a lot of music. Like a lot of music for me is just like I it could sound good, but what's the song about? I thought when you make songs, they have some type of, and it might have, I mean, yeah, it might has a meaning to it, but that's why I just started getting with Wayne a lot of times. It's like now it don't even seem like you constructing a song. It's just like you just freestyling on every single thing that I hear, and it
Yeah.
doesn't really. It can make sense sometimes, but then it don't make sense. It's like it don't go with the hook. Don't match the bars. The bars. I don't know where you're going with this song. What are you talking about? You're almost all over the place.
Yeah.
If you just want to sell me an album of freestyles, you could do a mixtape for that, bro. Like,
Yeah. 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 Don't make it the Carter 6 or
yeah,
Carter
you know what I'm
5.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, keep it no ceilings or something like you've been
Yeah.
doing, like
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
the dedication and all those other joints. Like, you rip the freestyles. That's that you immaculate when it comes to that. But like,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm gonna have to check out the Carter 6, see what you're talking about, see what we can gather from there. But yeah, that's kind of how I've
Yeah.
been with Wayne. Like sometimes I see these little YouTube shorts and I hear these little like these bars, and I'm like, dog. Like I heard a song he was on with Damian Lillard.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he had that little bar. I was like, man, he killed it. And then
Yeah.
I look back, I see the song that was 7 years ago.
Yeah. It was like yeah.
I'm like, that's how late I am on it, but it was like it's a dope bar, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like this is older version of Wayne than what I'm currently hearing most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to, give my 2 cents on the Lil Wayne
I
album.
mean,
This
hey,
everybody was kind of
I know we
talking
talk
about it.
sports, but this is the fundamental podcast.
Yeah.
Fan is the first part. That
Yeah,
doesn't,
you right.
we talk a lot of sports, but
Yeah.
we can
You
get in
right.
some music too now. I mean,
Yeah, you right. You right. You right for sure. For sure. All right. We're gonna start out. Let's talk about game one, man.
hmm
Let's get into it. Indiana did what Indiana has done all playoffs. They hang
hmm
around, hang around, hang around, and then in the last 2 minutes, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, what's going on? They're finna get a chance to win this game. And we've seen it time and time again in these
yeah,
playoffs. And I'm a little disappointed in OKC
because
because they knew the potential for this would happen and they didn't seem prepared for
they,
it.
yeah, yeah.
What were some of your bigger takeaways from the game?
I mean, OKC lost control of the game in the second half.
Yeah,
You
period.
had control of the game. The first half, but they went into halftime up by what 11,
Yeah,
something like that. And then no, you was up by 9. I think it was 9, something like that. I think it was 9 points, something like that. But you were pretty much flowing. You were controlling the game for the most part. You was playing your brand of basketball. But
correct.
to be honest with you, this is the thing about Indiana. They, like you said, they hang around. They find ways to stay in the game, and then that fourth quarter is like a light switch comes on, boom, and
Yeah,
the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and they are a team that you have to play. You got to play 4 quarters against Indiana, just like you got to play 4 quarters against. Most of the time, you got to play 4 quarters against
OKC.
OKC, but
Yeah,
you got to be on your game all 4 quarters because Indiana's one of them teams that
They
get hot.
fight and they
Yeah,
stay fighting. They
and they
stay
got
chipping.
and they got them shooters out there, bro. They got
Yeah, they
like they
do.
literally got some shooters out there. Like we don't know
They
these
do.
people as a household name yet, but like Neesmith and Nemhard and
Yeah,
Halliburton and all them boys out there, the boys can shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So and they play tough defense. They play
yeah.
get up in you
Turner.
defense.
Yeah,
So I think OKC kind of just lost control of the game, and of course Indiana fight like how they are. They dogs. They fought all the way back. That fourth
right.
quarter, they fought all the way back, scratching and
Yeah,
clawing. You know,
yeah.
you can't no lead safe with them. So
Ever. Yeah,
when
yeah,
OKC needs to, I just feel like when for OKC to really just take over this, they need to bring what they bring in the first half into the second half. Y'all need to try to go with the mindset we are going to blow them out of our gym
yeah.
and leave no room for comebacks. We've seen them do it pretty much against every team they played in the
Played.
playoffs.
Yeah, yeah,
So they have games, yeah, they got little games where they can struggle, but what we do, what is one thing that you come to see is that if you lock them down defensively or you get in them defensively, you could potentially beat OKC.
yeah. That's what we saw because I think we look at OKC's defense. We look at who potentially could have been defensive player of the year in Dart. Like
Mm-hmm.
we see these guys be so physical
Mm-hmm.
and they've been able to out physical teams. Like teams weren't ready for that kind of build to have that many players on a team be that physical. And
Mm-hmm.
Indiana came in there with zero fear of that and played the same kind of game into the end, right? And when you look at the game statistically, it was the Pacers overall played the better game. I mean, they shot 48% from the field goal, and OKC was 40%.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana was 46% from three pointers, and OKC was 37%. I mean,
See, that's
real,
where you lose it. Yeah.
yeah, realistically, we'll see. And here's what's crazy too, though. With as many steals as OKC had, the Pacers turned the ball over 24 times.
Yeah.
OKC only turned it over 6 times. But
That that
here's the
you do you hear that discrepancy right there, bro?
yeah,
How do you lose that game?
rebounds.
Yeah,
Indiana
because
Pacers had
Indiana's bigger.
Yeah,
They're bigger.
Indiana Pacers had 56 rebounds. OKC only had 39 rebounds. So, you look at that, and I believe that was one of the key factors is the ability to rebound, and especially when it came down to the clutch. And again, Indiana
Second
just
chance
shot the
points.
ball better. Yeah,
Yeah.
Indiana
But
just
see,
shot the ball better.
it's just but the craziest part about the stat, yeah, rebounds kill you, but when you look at the turnover discrepancy, that's 18 more turnovers to one team.
Yeah,
That's 18 possessions that you did not capitalize on if
yeah,
you lost that game.
yeah, yeah.
So most of the time, you win the turnover battle, you win the game.
You win the game like
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
95% of
90
the
some.
time.
Yeah, like literally, if you win the,
Yeah.
even if you were losing the battle on the boards,
Yeah.
if you
When
win
you
the turnover
turnover
battle,
battle. Yeah.
you win the game because you are taking away possessions from them. And but
Yeah.
the rebounds can even that out though.
Right.
You talk about 53 rebounds to 39 or whatever. You're talking about losing 14, 13 or 14. That's 14 possessions too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But to only turn the ball over 6 times and you still lose, that means your offense was not efficient.
There it is. Yeah.
They
There it
weren't
is. That's
efficient
what it came down
offensively.
to.
The first half they were pretty efficient. They were really really pretty good the first half from
Yeah.
what I
Oh
was
yeah.
seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dort he hit like what 5 threes or something like that. They were on
Yeah.
fire. It seemed like they were
Yeah.
about to just go ahead and take this and let's don't get up on matter here.
Yeah.
But that's why they played 2 halves. It's a tale of two
Yeah.
halves, bro. It's been like
Yeah.
that with Indiana all playoff long. A tale of 2 halves. Like
Yeah.
first
Absolutely.
half, it's like they might get Indiana might get blowed out in this mug, and then the second
Yeah.
half, you like how in the heck did these boys come back and win this game? Like,
Yeah.
they did it with New York. They did it against Cleveland. They did it multiple times against Cleveland. They did it.
Lynn. Yep.
It's just like, it's crazy. They're hard to predict. They are hard to
Yeah.
predict because they're not like a Boston. Like when you look at Boston, most of the time when you see Boston lose a game, they probably shot terrible from three.
Yeah.
And by terrible, by their standards, is you didn't miss 15, 16 threes or something like that. You didn't shot
Yeah.
yourself out the gym, you know, because we know Boston, they hit a couple of threes. Them boys might as well. They about this close from breaking records on you because them boys gonna
Yeah.
hit
For sure.
consistently.
Yeah.
But Boston, when they lose a game, it's because they've been missing threes. More times than not, they were missing threes.
Missing threes. Yeah.
That's why you lose. With Indiana, it ain't. Oh man, they ain't shooting threes like a Boston. I mean, they shooting their 3 pointers, but they ain't like Boston when they shoot threes. So when you look at Indiana, you just like they're not the same. That's not the same thing when you talk about them losing a game. It's just like a
Right.
regular. They done lost probably on the boards. They done lost because of turnovers. Somebody,
Right.
Halliburton, probably at this moment in time, he wasn't aggressive enough. Maybe shots weren't falling, but they have spurts in the game that keep them relevant. Like
Relevant.
they
Yeah.
go on these little, they might hit 5, 6 threes in a row. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like in quick spurts. So they are quick to turn the tides. Plus they play great defense. So they'll
Yeah.
find ways to turn the tide and make you play bad ball.
Yeah.
Like I was impressed by how they were playing against Jalen Brunson. Like they gave him, he was giving
Oh.
them a hard 30
Yeah.
points.
That was a
It
very yes.
Yes,
Like
it's
yeah.
different. Like people, like when you watch them, they make, even if your stars get their points, you gotta watch how are they getting their points.
Right.
Because yeah, you might go for 30, but was it an easy night for 30, or
Right.
did you have to scratch claw? You know what I'm saying, or whatever? That's how Indiana gets you. They
Yeah.
got them boys on defense that you gonna get a hard 30 tonight. If you get
Yeah.
30, you
And
had to work for 30 points.
yeah.
And that's what keeps them in the games because they're going to make your stars work. And then because
Yeah.
they're bigger, they crash in that glass.
Well,
And then when they crash their glass, they off to the races.
yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the hard 30 because you can look at having 30 points two ways. Was it an efficient 30 points, or was it
Mm-hmm.
because when you brought up Jalen Brunson. I honestly thought a lot of times Jalen Brunson was holding the ball too long and it messed up the flow for the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks. I thought the rest of the players couldn't get into flow because the way they uh, defended Jalen Brunson totally disrupted the flow for
Yep.
everybody else. And so from my perspective, that 30 points, it just wasn't efficient. It wasn't gonna them 30 points weren't gonna help you win because
Yeah.
it disrupted everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
and that's what Indiana seems like they're gonna do with OKC. OKC was leading the game all the way up to the end. They stayed in the
Mm-hmm.
game. They kept fighting. The difference was, like you said, their defense. Their defense, even though they were losing, their defense played really well. And I know that OKC won the turnover battle. Their defense played very well too, but what the difference was the shooting and the rebounding. If you
Yeah.
have two defenses playing really well,
And then you gotta have something's gonna separate that, and that's
yeah,
whoever's gonna either A, shoot the ball better, or whoever's getting those second chance buckets, those 50-50
buckets,
balls, things like
yep,
that. That
and
plays that's
a
the game
huge
within the
part,
game right there.
yep, and for Indiana, they just so happened to have shot better and won the rebound game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how that went. Now we brought up Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, man. What do you think about the Tibbs firing, man?
I think it's stupid.
I agree, man.
To be honest with you, I think the way I think about the Knicks is the same way I thought about the Bulls when they fired Tibbs. You're stupid.
Yeah,
Why? Why do you
yeah,
get, like, honestly, you build a culture with one coach for a
yeah,
while. It ain't like Tibbs has been a terrible coach. And then
Right.
all of a sudden this year he just happened to have a breakout year. This is the
Right.
second time. They done been to the playoffs a couple of times, a few times with Tibbs. Last year they fell with injuries. They fell early
Hmm.
in the rounds. This year they go all the way to the conference finals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might have been the favorite, but we already know it was a toss-up series anyway to me. But to fire Tibbs, now you got to try to start completely new. You know what I'm
With a new
saying? I
culture.
don't know how they're really going to do it. I don't know if they're going to try to elevate any of their assistant coaches there or whatever, which I think is stupid because I seen a report talking about how some of the players don't like Rick Brunson being there, I guess. Read something about that. I don't know how true that
Right.
is, but at the same time, man, why does I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's brought y'all to the furthest you've been in the playoffs in
In 25 years.
exactly. So you
Yeah.
get rid of Tibbs. Now you're gonna insert somebody new. But what's that gonna look like? Are you
Yeah.
trying to look for a better offensive coach or a better defensive coach? Who you put in? Who you replace him with? You know,
I've
who are
seen
you gonna
people
really
talk
do?
about Jason Kidd.
But he's still in Dallas, ain't he?
Did they? Let me see. Did they
I
move
don't
on?
remember
I
them
think they
firing
parted.
Kid.
No, I think it was a mutual thing. Let me double check on that. Let me
I
double
missed
check
that
on
news.
that. But I've heard. Let me see. Jason Kidd news. But I mean, either way, you fire a
That's,
coach that's got you further than you've been
then you've
in
been, yeah.
recent history. And okay, he's still the coach of Dallas
I was about
currently.
to say, I didn't think they
Yeah.
let him go. I ain't heard no news about it, but that'd have been crazy if they let him go too. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Well, I would understand if it was a mutual agreement and he decided, hey, I don't want to deal with this. But
It was
to,
on. The news came from New York, the New York Post. It says Knicks coaching search about to take a serious Jason Kidd turn. NBA insider. So,
mm, okay.
sources say Knicks interested in speaking with Kidd, according to
Well, I mean, they can
ESPN.
always talk to him, but it don't mean
Yeah.
he gonna go, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel for Tibbs with this because he keeps getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, he
He
does.
builds a whole culture. The team starts blossoming under his and
Yeah.
tutelage, and then they let him go.
Yeah. I mean, he
But if you've
literally got them better every year that
yeah
he was there.
yeah, the only team I would say that him departing or letting him go was when he was with the Timberwolves. They
Yeah.
weren't all that good.
No.
They were okay.
Yeah.
They were better with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler left, and that was it.
That was it.
Um,
Yeah.
but like Chicago, they got worse ever since Tibbs been gone.
Yeah.
The
They never
Knicks,
got back after Tibbs.
nope, never got back. We had that 1 year with Fred Hoiberg, which was the dumbest hiring I ever thought.
That
But
was a terrible
you
hire.
know, hey,
That was a terrible
I ain't
hire.
even about to go. I ain't even about to go there. This ain't about the
Yeah.
Bulls. I ain't even
Okay.
about to go there. Yeah. I mean, cause we ain't been relevant again since.
Yeah.
Just a bottle, it's a basket of mediocrity.
Yeah. You
Mediocrity.
literally.
You're like literally, like whatever. I ain't gonna go there because Billy Donovan ain't doing the most greatest either. So it's like, what did y'all lose? Y'all lost a person that could take a. And this is what I don't get. Like when you see Tibbs and what he does with some of these teams, look at the roster that the Bulls had. We had Derrick Rose and a bunch of role players.
Yeah. Literally. Like just role players.
It was
Just
literally
everybody
Derrick Rose and a bunch
and a
of role
bunch of
players.
role
Yeah,
players.
sometimes we had somebody we had Pau Gasol 1 year. We brought in, we brought in a Carlos Boozer.
Boozer. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember when Boozer
We
was there.
had
Yeah,
the
yeah. I forgot
Boozer,
about Carlos Boozer. Yeah.
but I mean,
Cause I
ain't no
mean, what was
superstar talent.
yeah?
A
What was Jim?
bench all star,
What's
but
it? Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah,
Yeah, but he was
no
just a defender
offensive
and a
Joe.
rebounder for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. We had a defensive team.
Yeah,
The only person that was
yeah,
offensive was Derrick Rose, and that's all we had. Like we had some three
yeah.
and D guys out there that could hit a 3-pointer, but most of the time we were struggling to make shots. We won games because
Right,
we had defense.
right.
When we couldn't make shots, we couldn't. If we went down by like 10 or 15 points, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like
Yeah,
a hard to get there, but we had to get there based upon defense and Derrick Rose going off,
Right.
a lot of times. So it was just like, and then when we came in that one year when Rose was injured and we had Jimmy Butler and then we had like Nate Robinson and them boys there, it's like he's made playoff teams out of teams that probably should have never been in the
Never been
playoffs.
there. Like a lot of other coaches probably wouldn't have been able to make it work
Yeah,
with the rosters that he has had. And
exactly.
that's just the reality, man. Like I'm not, just trying to make something up. That's one of them things where I could definitively say, like some of the rosters that he's had, he's got them farther than expected.
Yes. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at it from a standpoint, what was your thought process behind it? Now if Tibbs is on somebody I just want to leave or whatever, then fine, whatever. But it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that at all. I mean,
I,
just don't understand it.
I saw a
I
lot of
think it's
people.
stupid.
I saw a lot of people, and they were like, "Oh, well, it's because he doesn't utilize his bench." What bench? Who, who was he gonna utilize off the bench? Whoa.
Like
Like,
they are a
did you see
top
the
heavy
rock?
team.
Did you
they
see
are
his team?
they're literally top heavy. That's how
Yeah.
those teams are. That those teams are constructed top heavy. Yeah, you had your McBride, and
All right. Yeah. And then what?
I'm trying to figure out who else to even call off the bench. You know what I'm
Ex-
saying? There was McBride, and he was solid. He ain't extremely great. He can get you some buckets.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you have a couple of other guys that could, like, you don't have a Harkenstein on the on your bench anymore. You don't really have a true backup big because Karl Anthony Towns, he's starting, Mitchell Robinson's starting. Like
Yeah.
you don't, who comes off the bench really?
Bench.
I
Yes.
so it's like, well, Robinson, I think he comes off the bench sometimes because Karl Anthony Towns might start over
Start.
him
Yeah. At
and
the
he'll come
yeah.
off the bench. So Mitchell Robinson's cool. You got to McBride off the bench. That's cool. And then you got people like Shamit that can come and get you something every now and then, but for the
It's just
most
not
part,
consistent enough.
most part he's irrelevant. Then you have
Yeah.
like Prince Achua. He's irrelevant for the most part. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have a bench to make them continue to tick. Now
Exactly.
he could have mixed up some lineups or something. I mean, I guess Josh Hart, he comes off the bench, but they don't really have a successful bench, man. It's like,
Yeah, like it's we you could you we I mean we could try to force the issue by saying he could have rotated players, but
yeah,
you think Tibbs don't know what he has? Tibbs knows what's going yeah, like I'm
he
sorry, but
know,
he knows, right?
he know, we know
He
too.
know.
We see it.
We know too. We
It's like
yeah, we know
let's
too.
stop playing these games like we don't see
Yeah.
what he
Yeah.
ain't got the. It's a playoff roster. It ain't a championship roster.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they got past Boston is shocked the world. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just be
Look, for
honest.
real.
Like,
Yeah.
and who made that roll like that? It was when they started making shots with that. Guess what? They're five.
They're
When
five.
what you call it, when Bridges finally woke up and decided to make he finally wanted to wake up in fourth quarters and make shots, big
Right.
shots. Then
Right.
they started ticking and rolling. But the problem is when Jalen Brunson hits the bench, they don't have much of an offense.
Yeah. Outside of that, yeah.
I mean, yeah, when everybody else decides they want to start hitting, but they're inconsistent with hitting shots. Josh Hart, he's a motor guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
It's
is
not
high
like
motor.
he's not one of them guys that's gonna shoot. He could shoot you into a game when he's hot, but it's really him. He gets you into a game with all the little plays. You know what I'm saying? The little things that he do: grab
Yeah.
rebounds,
Yeah.
facilitate.
Yeah.
Get the easy little buckets, second chance points. He give you that little that 13, 12, and 11 triple double.
Right.
You're like, it ain't like, oh my God, he went for 40 and 10 and 50. No.
Yeah.
He's giving you them little, that's the ones that's that workhorse triple double. You know what I'm saying?
Double. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, for
he just
sure.
came and did everything, the jack
Yeah,
of all trades.
yeah.
But he ain't no knockdown 3-point shooter. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
absolutely not.
We see this. We've seen him blow layups. We've seen him blow jump shots. I mean, like, he's a solid player. Technically speaking, he's a role player.
He's a role player.
Ben,
Like
and he
that's
might
and
be a
he
bench starter, but he's a role player for most part.
yeah, yeah. And look, the Knicks, I don't see them getting back to where they got this year for a little while because you're resetting the culture, and if you
Mm-hmm.
do get that, it's all in. I just don't see it. Me personally,
Uh,
and honestly, the East only gets better next year, in my opinion.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
Cleveland that's finna learn from
Cleveland's
this
gonna come back.
experience. You
Mm-hmm.
got Indiana. You got Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You got Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's gonna probably be the same 8 this year, next
yeah,
year
next
that
year,
you're
yeah,
seeing.
just
It might
a
be
little bit
just
better.
might be one less team might switch out, which would out of all the teams I'm looking at, Miami might be the only team that be on the out.
Yeah, or Orlando.
Maybe or Orlando. Well, I don't think Orlando's gonna be out of the playoffs. I think they're gonna get. I have a
Better.
feeling Orlando's gonna get better again.
Okay.
They're gonna be in the. They made what the 8 seed, no 7
Yeah.
seed this year. I think
Yeah.
Orlando is actually gonna be in there. Miami was the one that kind of was like
Yeah.
they went from like what they were a 10th seed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they just
Yeah.
happened to get beat all the teams to get into it, which I I wanted Atlanta to win, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I knew my Bulls wasn't gonna show up, but you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah. That was. Oh,
look, not too much, big
all
bro.
right.
I
I'm
didn't.
sure. All right.
Not we
All
ain't
right.
gonna. We ain't
All right.
gonna.
I'm not. I'm
Not
not
too
on. I'm
much.
not
We
on.
ain't
I'm
gonna
not
do
on that
that
right
today.
now. I'm not on that
We
right
ain't gonna
now.
do that
I'm not
today.
on that right now.
But
But
yeah, so I
yeah.
see like to be honest, if I look at the teams, I would love to see Atlanta do something with their man. You know what? Hey, Atlanta, go get Tibbs, man. You know what I'm saying? Go
Hey.
get Tibbs, man. He'll y'all got. They
Yeah.
have a team. They got some long arm defenders out there. Atlanta could cause some problems if they wanted to, man. Cause that
Yeah.
boy, that was that rookie's name. I
Oh.
think he led the league in steals, or he was
Stills.
second in steals or something.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
That boy is a menace on
Yeah.
defense, bro. Like
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but he was a dog defensively. They got pieces. I just don't think they got their coaching ain't meshing it together right. And
Right.
I think Butch comes a decent coach. Um, Snyder. I think the
Yeah.
Snyder's
Snyder.
their coach. You know what I'm saying? He's a good coach. He's not a bad coach. It's just I don't think it's the right fit.
Yeah.
You
They.
know what I'm
They
saying? So
a Tibbs would be good there in
because they
Atlanta.
need a defensive culture. You know what I'm saying? Like they got offensive firepower, but they got some defensive dogs out there. So Tibbs can make the defense work
Yeah.
and build
Yeah.
on the
For sure.
offensive guys. I mean, people want to say whatever they want to say about Tibbs, man, but history has proved that he has been a winning coach with the
Yeah.
style that he's played with.
Yeah.
He's an old school coach. That's why people don't like him.
Yeah. Well.
That's how I feel because he's more old school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His defense, and he's gonna play players that wants to play. He knows
Period.
what his lineup is, and he's gonna play you.
He's gonna
Hey,
play him. Well,
be in the shape.
we get into the argument of you're playing them too much in the playoffs. Like I even saw. Did you see the interview where LeBron James was like, "I think we should have a month before the playoff starts."
Man, I don't want to hear nothing about no damn LeBron
Okay,
James and
because
him
we gotta
wanting me to
rest
take off
up,
a month, bro.
bro.
Cause yeah, man, just
Bro, they've been doing the playoffs right after the season
for
since forever,
years,
and
bro.
all
Since
of
the
a sudden,
beginning, and now all of a sudden,
it's
go
and
sit
now
your
you
old
talking about
ass down
y'all
somewhere,
already
bro.
rest during the season, take games off to rest during the season. Players wasn't doing that 30 years ago.
For real, like banged up and everything. They play a bunch of players play 82, 78 to 82 games a year.
Games, yeah,
You think they
and
weren't banged up?
and you think Michael Jordan wasn't banged up winning them championships back to back to back to back,
Man,
playing every game in the season, playing 82 games, and then
get
but
out of here with that, bro.
you talking about y'all need a break between the end of the season and the playoffs?
No, no, no.
What are we
This is
talking
like
about?
this is bro. This is like players in the NFL saying we need a break between the playoffs and the regular season. Y'all get a break. That
Yeah,
1 week where your coach decided that he gonna bench y'all, that's y'all break.
yeah, that's it.
I mean, what? This is not new. You've been playing 20 something years. This is not new. Now all of a sudden y'all wanting to come on, bro. Get out of here
Yeah.
with that. This whole fresh leg stuff, that's not how this works.
It that's it.
No sport that I've seen takes a whole month off for the playoffs to start.
Playoffs. Right.
None. And
None.
y'all complaining? Y'all the only ones, so y'all the only ones that, you know what I'm saying? Baseball plays 162 games.
Yeah.
And they jump right into the playoffs. Now,
Right
granted,
into
I
it.
guess you could say, well, baseball ain't as vigorous. Man, baseball is hard to play.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
easiest. I mean, they say it's kind of an easy sport for most people. I would want my child to be in. Yeah, because it ain't as, I guess, vigorous.
The
I don't
yeah,
know whatever you want to say.
the contact,
It's
but
not a lot of contact, but
right.
it's a sport that still takes a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
They play
yeah.
162 games and they go right into the playoffs.
Well, look at
NHL, they play 82 games. They go right into the
yeah,
playoffs. They
right into the
line up
playoffs.
exactly with the NBA.
NBA. Yep. Yep.
And
Go
these
right
mothers
in.
are getting banged up every single day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You think
Yeah.
it's bad with what you're doing? Go out there and play hockey for 82 games and then have to jump right into the playoffs. Ain't none of them complaining about, oh, we
Ain't
need a
none of
break
them.
off for the month.
Exactly.
Come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what is we doing? Why
Yeah.
why is the NBA, this is why people don't want to watch the NBA, man.
Right. And
Y'all
then
complain too much, dog. What?
and then what's crazy is, hey, I like this is my first thought too. Hey, the team you're playing, they didn't get a break either. Hey,
Exactly.
they tired too. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Why everybody want to, he want the bubble stuff. That's what he want.
Yeah, that's what he
That's what he
want.
want, because
He
that
want
bubble was real, that real mentally, mentally taxing, but y'all were fresh going into the bubble, bro.
bubble. Yeah,
Y'all had months off.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you want the bubble stuff, so you can go in 100% fresh, and then everybody's fresh, but you don't even have during that time. That of course not everybody had a full team because there's people that opted out. But
Yeah,
you want the bubble stuff, bro. You want that little break so you can get into the playoffs, so your old bones go sit your old ass down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, I
Right.
hate to sound like this, but bro, if you can't deal with an 82 game season plus playoffs,
Retire.
it might be time for you to hang up.
Yeah,
Hang up them shoes.
yeah, for
It might be
sure.
tired.
Like I don't like no argument for me. No
Yeah.
argument for me. I agree
I
with you
mean, I mean,
100% because when I heard that, I said a month. You think you should get a month off after the regular season? Are you
bro.
crazy?
Yeah, he wants to be fresh going into the playoffs. No, man.
Yeah.
You'll sit your
All the
old
other
ass
teams
down
doing the
somewhere.
same thing you doing. You'll be all
Exactly.
right. You'll be all right.
Exactly. So that's his excuse now, huh? That's
Yeah.
his excuse.
Yeah.
Mister, he might have sprained his MCL after the what you call it, but then a couple of days later, you found him dancing in the freaking
Yeah.
at a
All
party.
of that. Look, and these are the things. These are the things, LeBron.
Man,
These
let
are
me
the
get up off of
things.
this, man.
Yeah.
Man, get up
Yeah.
off the.
Let me. All right.
Like
All
they
right.
say,
I'm
you
a
either go take a shit or get up off
Musa.
the toilet, bro.
Yeah.
And I think
Musa.
he need to go ahead and just go and get up off this toilet. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Go
Yeah.
ahead and you ain't ready for this no more. Your mind. That's how you. This is the beginning of seeing a mental checkout
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
tired of
No,
being
that's
mentally locked in all for the
all.
whole season.
Yeah. All 82 games. Yep. I agree, man. I agree. This is. It's time to. Man, go focus on making movies and shows.
Man, you know what I'm
Go
saying?
for real.
It's
Like
time for
he
you to
does.
go ahead and take a break.
Yeah.
Go to you know what I'm saying? Go be a spectator at Bronny's games where he's in the LA uniform. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Go check out some Bryce games. You
Yeah.
know, sit down and
Go be a good
be the
father.
dad that
Hey,
you need to
here's the
be,
thing.
that you
He's
continue to be.
a great
Yeah.
father. He's a great
Yes.
father. He's a great businessman. He's so talented at so many. Because look, this ain't a thing where I'm just on here and I want to just crap on the guy, right? He's a
Yeah, you
great,
know.
yeah, great businessman. Great, uh, great father. From what I could tell, did great things by opening up a school and where he's from and all of that stuff. Like those are all great things. He's done some great things for the NBA. I'm not gonna pretend like he
Yes.
hasn't,
Yes,
but
he has.
it is. I think it is time to kind of probably
Yeah.
think about wrapping it up now. I
It's
think
it's
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 just
time.
go, yeah, go do the other things. I know that there's games where physically you go out and you go put up some points, but also there's some those same games I see you taking a lot of plays off defensively.
A lot of plays off defensively.
Yeah,
A
so
lot of them.
You know what I mean?
You're not
So,
locked in. You're not locked in the full 48. You're
yeah,
not locked in. That means you don't have the passion. To me, it gives off. I don't have the passion for this no more.
right, right, and
Yeah,
that's
I can still
okay.
play. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Hey, you done did what you needed to do. You done did everything that you could do possibly in the NBA. There's
yeah,
nothing else you really can do that's more. You got 4 rings.
yeah,
You'd have been to the championship game 10 times. You know what I'm saying? You still go to the playoffs. You still play at a high level. Not the high level like you used to play, but you still play at a high level. You
right,
scoring 20 something a game. You still playing good ball at,
right.
at the age that you are. But when you start hearing little things like this, that's when you start noticing that there's something there that you're tired.
Yeah, and
You're
that's
tired. You,
okay.
you've been in there for 22, 23
Yeah,
some
like
years. You tired,
nobody's gonna
boss.
be
You know
mad
what I'm
at you
saying?
retired. Like nobody's
Hey,
gonna
I've been at my
knock it.
job for been at my job for 8, 9 years.
Yeah,
I'm tired too. I'm
yeah,
tired, boss. And I don't have
yeah.
no physical activities going on, but
Right.
you get tired. Hey, I gotta keep going. But
And that's
you
okay.
you have the opportunity to go ahead and just sit on that bankroll you got there. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for what you brought to the game,
Yeah,
but sometimes you need to know it's time to go ahead and just walk away. That's just it.
yeah.
That's just it. You could,
Agreed
hey, you don't have nothing else to prove to anybody. You have nothing else to
at
prove.
all.
Everything else now is just opinion based.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have their opinion. Some call you the great, the goat. You're not
Is
my
he
goat,
um
but
is he stat
yeah.
padding right now? Is staying in the lead stat padding? Am
When you
I
talking
am
like how you talking just like now, yeah. So it seemed like to me you just adding on to something that you don't need to add on to. You already got the scoring championship. Most points in the NBA. All you
Yeah,
doing is adding more to it. So at this point, be a mentor to your child. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Mentor your kid. I can understand you doing that before you go. You know,
yeah.
you've
Getting
had this
him
season, you had this
right.
season, but now you got a whole nother. If you stay for another year, you could take that whole other year to help Bronny better his
Develop.
game
Yeah,
and develop even more. Because one year ain't gonna get somebody ready for the NBA. Let's just keep it a
yeah,
buck.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what he's got to the first year he's got to see what the NBA was about.
Mm-hmm.
Year two, this is time to know what to do in the NBA. Like know what
Yeah,
it's about. Like
right.
actually, you know, this is what you're gonna have to do as far as your work ethic. You're gonna really have to
Right.
put it in this
Put
off
in the
season.
work.
You're gonna
Yeah,
really
the
have to
amount of work.
do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand you taking 2 years to get your son acclimated to the NBA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The first year is always going to be that, oh my God, I'm in the NBA. The second year is like, okay, now it's work time. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? You get a grace period. That's the grace period. You got a
That's
whole
it.
year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to, okay, let's buckle in and let's rock it. And if LeBron wants to stick around for one more year and do that, and that's what his whole purpose is, well, let that be your focus and purpose, but also, keep it a beam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I'm just going, this is what I'm doing at the same time, but, put in the work to still do LeBron. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Still do LeBron, but, we can understand that this is what you came in for. This is what you're going to do. You're trying to be
Right.
a mentor to you, whatever. Usher in people like Luca, get him acclimated to the Lakers, whatever,
Yeah.
what that, whoop de woo. Because honestly, I don't see LeBron winning anything else.
No, yeah. No,
His window was
I don't
closed to
either.
me.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
even though
agree.
y'all have Luca out there, it's not time for them. They don't have the roster constructed to do.
To do that, right. And
And all
that
the
could
other
happen.
teams, yeah, and everybody else is getting better.
Yeah. That could happen. LeBron, I mean,
Hmm.
again, it's not a hate LeBron thing. But LeBron is. I feel like the time has passed. I don't see it. So like,
Yeah,
let the Lakers build now with Luca, and you are retired. Right. My
just
opinion. My opinion.
ride off into the sunset. You did what you had to do.
Yeah.
You know,
You had a great
I'm
career.
just, I start looking at things. It's just like I don't have anything like I've never been a LeBron fan, so it's not like I just started hating LeBron or something like that. And I really don't hate the guy.
Yeah.
I don't like the public, the press that how the narrative they tried to push. It was never LeBron in the beginning. It was always the media that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
turned me
true.
off from LeBron.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
same,
Like,
same. It was the media.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, I'm watching all these other great players in the league, but you put this kid ahead of all of them. Like,
yeah,
literally, like by year 3, they were already patting him like best, one of the best player in the league. But I'm sitting there like, don't we still got Kobe, Iverson, Shaq, all
Dwayne
these other
Wade,
people that's put it in? Like, you
and
know,
I know, I
I
know,
keep D Wade in that same category with LeBron because they were just fresh pups still. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Like,
but
so, but
I
they didn't market Wade like they did LeBron and
that
how
was
they
my
did with
thing,
them.
the marketing, because
Yeah,
by year 5, to me, Dwayne Wade, in my humble opinion, Dwayne Wade was the guy. I'm like, him and, like, to me, Carmelo and Dwayne Wade were like, and I was just like, man, why aren't they getting the same kind of, and maybe I just missed something. Maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. But to
no,
me, they were just as good as LeBron, but they
they
weren't
were.
getting the same coverage.
They were just as good as LeBron. If you honestly, I believe Carmelo
Carmelo
Anthony
won
should have
Rookie
won
of the
Rookie of the
Year.
Year. I
Yes.
think he should have won Rookie of the Year. If it wasn't him winning, it should have been Cole Rookie of the Year. He should have got it with LeBron if y'all was gonna do it that way.
Yeah.
But I believe Carmelo should have got Rookie of the Year, or he should have been a Rookie of the Year. They've done it before. You know,
Yeah.
they
They
done it
done
with Jason
co
Kidd
Yeah.
and I can't think of who the other man was at the time. Jason Kidd and somebody.
Let me look
I
it
think
up
they
real quick.
co rookie. But to me, it's just like it's the media. It's the
Yeah.
media that has pretty much killed the spark for LeBron for me. You know what I'm
Grant
saying?
Hill.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it that's been my biggest problem. And then as time progresses, like I was one of those ones that yeah, at one point in time I had LeBron Jordan 1 and 2. But then I started really breaking down everything and the more I start watching and start seeing, I'm like, no, LeBron's further down the list for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like but that was the media spin on it, and then I'm starting really to look at the games and I'm like, nah, I can't put him at 2. I can't put
Yeah.
him at 2. He's not 3. He barely makes top 5. He might be on the outside of top 5. I'm starting to see a lot of the lacklusterness that he's putting out. I hated all the flopping.
Oh
He's never
yeah.
been a really great shooter. You know, he was just physically gifted. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A
Right.
lot of times he's physically gifted, and I start breaking down a lot of things about it. And it's just like, you know what? He's a great player. I'm never gonna take anything from him. He's a great, excellent player.
Right.
He won 4 rings. No matter how he had to get it, he got 4.
Right.
He's a great player. I tip my hat off to the man. Hey, you excelled at what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now it's
Period.
just time to go ahead and ride off into the sunset. And that's it. It's no beef, nothing like that. But
Right. Yeah.
I really do think it's media. Media provokes a lot of that stuff. I'm not a Wimbyama, a big Wimbyama fan. It ain't got nothing to do with Wimby. Wimbyama. He's a solid player.
Player. Yeah, he
But
is.
the hype that y'all threw behind this guy, like we'd never seen a big man move like this. But I remember Bol and Baylor was doing all the stuff
Doing
that
it. Yeah.
Wembyama was doing. If he didn't get injured, you were talking about Bol potentially being number 1, number 2 pick coming out of the draft. But he got injured, so he slipped. So
And Bo still can do that stuff.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So it's not like I'd never seen a 7'2" plus guy have handles and shoot and do all these other things.
Yeah.
We watched it. He's literally in the NBA. Like
Hey,
Shaq said,
currently.
we seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He don't
And
have the same. He was never granted the same,
media hype.
media hype, and he wasn't grant. He don't get that same treatment in as Wembyama has. So the where he got drafted to, they weren't because he was a second round pick. They weren't about to put their resources into Bowl like that.
Bo. Yeah. Yeah.
But we seen what he could do, and he was up on the draft boards like
Yeah.
until he got injured that year. So
Yeah.
so it's just like the media can really drain you of players, and it's not their fault, but it's just that's just the way it is.
That's
I
just
got
yeah.
tired of seeing, and like when I watch TV, and I'll be like, oh, Wembyama did this big thing, and I'm like, okay, he dunked. He
Yeah.
dunked on somebody. He is 7'5". Dang,
Yeah.
he should be. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If he do
His
anything less,
wingspan. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so amazing. And it's like, no, y'all overhype things that are what he should be doing with this
Right.
size.
Right.
Like, he should be getting 6-7 blocks in a game. That's
Because
how I feel.
here's what's gonna happen. In 3 years, we're still gonna be talking about what he's done in the game, and then they're going to be like, well, he hasn't won a ring yet. And then
Yep.
there's going to be a bunch of negativity and scrutiny
Yep.
towards him.
Yep.
And that's how it works, man. It's just how it
Unfortunately.
works. It's unfortunately, but that's how the
Mm-hmm.
media will do things.
Yep.
Um, let me switch gears a little bit. And Aaron Rodgers finally has announced that he is going to be signing with the Steelers. And what
Yeah.
way does this help the Steelers? Does this help the Steelers? Well,
It. I
what are
mean,
your thoughts, man? What you thinking?
I mean, it helps them. I mean, let's just be honest. Who they had prior to him? Mason Rudolph, really?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah,
hyped about it? No.
no, yeah,
It might. This whole thing was drawn out way longer than what it was should have been. Yeah, I'm not hyped about it. I think it helps the Steelers because it gives them a veteran quarterback who can still play. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong, he can still play. We just wonder how much is he gonna be able to play. Coming off an ACL tear, you know what I'm saying, things like that. And it's not an easy thing. He's not gonna be the same Aaron Rodgers of old, but we know he can still play. He had decent numbers last year. He had a sorry team,
yeah,
um, but he can still play. He's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
give them a chance and an opportunity. With Tomlin and all them, I think he's going to give them an opportunity if he's 100% committed to playing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe he's going to be pretty decent for them. I mean, they got Metcalf out there who's a upgrade from Pickens. I mean, I don't know about your running game. Is Warren is okay,
He's
but
okay. Yeah, yeah,
so, but your offense really didn't do much to move the needle for me as far as
right.
with
Like
who
in
you
terms
got
of
offensively,
right.
So we'll see if y'all got an offensive line that's going to keep up and hold up with them. I mean, their defense is always stout, so their
Yeah,
defense is always
no,
pretty good, so.
yeah. Their defense
But,
keeps them in games, really.
yeah. So, do I think Aaron Rodgers would be a helpful one? Yeah, just like I thought Russell Wilson, he did pretty good last year too. So,
Yeah.
you
Overall,
know,
we talked
overall,
about that. Yeah.
so it's a plus. It's a
Yeah.
plus for the Steelers. You couldn't go wrong unless you went with somebody who's worse than a Mason Rudolph, which I'm not gonna sit there and say the guy is. He's in the NFL, so he can play.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has something he can play, but Aaron Rodgers is gonna probably do something for him at least. I could see them making the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers. I wasn't gonna even see them making the playoffs with Mason Rudolph. This would be the
Oh
first
yeah.
year I thought
I
Tomlin
will.
wasn't gonna make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
I thought so too. I
But
if we
with the
don't.
with
Yeah.
with the Aaron Rodgers, I could see you sneaking into the wild card.
Yeah. For
You
sure.
know,
Yeah. For
so
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Like for he. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw 28 touchdowns last year. 11
hmm
interceptions, but didn't have much of an offensive line. And I mean, but he had a pretty good QB
yeah, he had
rating.
some
Yeah,
weapons. He had some weapons on that squad, but I mean, both sides of the ball count too. So whatever
yeah.
defense ain't gonna do.
I
You were
think
in games.
yeah,
They just made bonehead plays at the end of the
plays.
games and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it
So,
was like so much going on with the Robert Saleh firing, and then
hmm
just like all the drama, the dilemma, and
that
everything,
outside
and
noise stuff.
yeah, the
Yeah,
outside noise. And I think Rodgers maybe has one more good year, but I think it's about time for him to wrap it up too. He's had a great
Man,
career. He did great things in Green Bay. He has what? He's has 4 MVPs.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think
3
it's
or 4
four.
of them.
Yeah.
Only
Yes.
one Super Bowl, but it is tomato tomato. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Super Bowls are
Can't win
hard to
them
get,
all.
man. Like
Yeah, you can't
I
win them.
I think the Super Bowl thing is so skewed because of Tom Brady, right? So like
Yeah,
we we
yeah.
we think of the Super Bowls and we're like, well, here we have a player that has more Super Bowls than
hmm
franchises do.
Yeah,
Um, but to get one is a big deal. To
it's
get
hard.
one, yeah, it's hard.
Obviously, as you can see, it's hard. Most
It's
people don't
hard.
go back to it like that. I mean,
Exactly. And that's why I always give Jim Kelly so much praise because the amount of times
yeah,
that him and the Buffalo Bills went, although
yeah.
they didn't win,
Was it four
and
years in a row?
yeah, and yes. And so when you look at Dan Marino, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play,
He has zero.
he has zero. right?
Goose
Like,
egg.
but his arm talent is some of the best quarterbacking in NFL history,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes, it is.
Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, that's never a question mark.
Dan
That's
Marino was a beast. Dan
arm
Marino was
talent
that beast.
was never in question.
Nope.
Zero Super Bowl.
None. It's hard to get there. It's
Yeah,
hard to get there. I mean,
yeah,
just be honest. It's hard to get there.
yeah,
To get there multiple times is even worse. I mean,
yeah.
it's even harder,
Harder.
but
Yeah, yeah,
it's hard to get there, bro.
yeah. And
I
so
think
yeah.
road to the Super Bowl is harder than in any other sport I've seen. Road to the Super Bowl
Oh,
is
for
super
sure.
hard.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Like when you, because even you look at baseball, get into the World Series, there's a series of games involved, and it's uh you look at basketball, they play a series. You look at hockey, they
Mm-hmm.
play a series.
Mm-hmm.
NFL, it's one and done,
One
man.
game, you're done.
You're done,
Yeah. If you
and
come in on one day and you had a bad game,
that's
ain't
it.
no coming back next week. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that's
Ain't no
it.
coming back
Yeah,
next week.
you don't get a
But it's
chance a
just,
couple days later.
yeah, like for real. Like, and just to even think about it, like, you look at other sports and you got teams that dang near got double digit championships.
Yeah, oh yeah.
NBA, the Lakers and
Boston.
Boston got 16
Yep.
championship banners, 17 for one, I think, something like that for Boston now.
Yeah,
But
for
you
Boston.
got 17 banners, 16 banners. Looking at you know, Chicago got six.
Yeah,
You know, other teams like they done been like 6, 7, 8 times or whatever. The
right.
NFL, only one team's got six out of how many years the NFL been running?
Yeah,
Then Super Bowl like 50, 60 or something like that. It's like
yeah, almost 60
one
years
team's
old.
got six.
Yeah,
Now there's teams that been multiple times. Heck, my
times, yeah.
49ers done been nine.
But there,
Like
but
eight, 9 times. So
there's some teams that ain't never been.
they still have not been.
Even
Yeah.
some of the older teams, like there's some older teams that haven't even been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you're looking at it, it is hard. The plus one and done is always hard. One and done is the hardest format in any playoff to deal with. That's
yeah.
why March
But
Madness
it,
is so big of a draw. Because March Madness, you really see the teams that you don't even think that's gonna supposed to be even be in this. They come out and they be beating teams that you be like, dang,
yeah.
dog, really?
Cinderellas, yeah,
They busting brackets and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
but that's what makes it so exciting because you know on any given day, no matter what your roster is, you can be beaten. Anybody can be
yeah,
beaten. It's harder to
yeah,
but I will say it is harder to win a series against a top team than it is to win one game against a top team.
yeah. I got you. I'm with you.
So when you talk about like the NBA and you watching teams like the top teams, when they get put out in a series, that's really a shocker because half the time lower seeds that beat a top team in a series, they probably don't went the distance to like 6 games, seven
Yeah.
games. You know, you really had to claw scratch to pull it out.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah. I
in the
get it.
NFL, boom, you're gone.
Yeah,
March Madness, 1 seed lose to 16 seed, which you rarely. I don't think you've ever seen that, but like they be having astronomical odds, like be
yeah,
like one out of top seeds are like 807 to and
yeah,
against
yeah,
low
yeah,
seeds,
yeah,
and then this low seed beats you. And it's like it's a big deal, you
yeah.
know. So it one and done is one of the greater. It's a greater as far as I like when I look at a playoff standpoint. When I watch one and done things, it's a more exciting thing to see because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
unpredictable. Like you expect one team, but if they come out and they get pushed to the limit, you're like, oh, whoa, that must almost lost. But in a series, you're kind of like, well, we can kick back. Yeah, they lost this game. We shocked about that, but you know, we still got them the favorite. You know, they still coming. They usually be the ones that win, and you kind of like, well, we knew they wasn't gonna beat them 4 games in a row, but
right.
you might
Yeah,
get one.
right, 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 right. Yeah, for sure. Like, and the thing that's like super interesting, like with playoffs in general, is like everybody everybody feels like they're prepared, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you always feel prepared. But the thing is, like, especially like when you think about the NFL, right? Your coaches can be like, oh, these are the numbers. This is what they do well. This is what we're going to attack. This is like
Mm-hmm.
the scheme that we're running. This is good. This is the game plan, right?
Right.
And then that team has been preparing and saying, "Hey, this is what we've done all year, but we're gonna switch
Yeah.
some things up." So this team
Mm-hmm.
is prepared for what they've seen, and this team has prepared to play something different than what they've done, right?
Yeah.
And so like
Throws it all off.
whichever one of those wins the battle, well, you go on. But see, like you said, in those series, it's like this is what they've done all year. This is the game plan. This is what we've done all year. This is the
Mm-hmm.
game plan. And then they're like, oh, we lost this game. We expected them to do this, but now we understand what they're doing. You have a
Mm-hmm.
chance to balance that out from there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
You can make up for that loss. Yeah, you
yeah,
can prepare for the new stuff.
yeah.
One and done. You can't prepare for the new stuff because
Nope.
once
That's
you get
it.
you, the only way you could do it is like, well, this is halftime. Um,
Yeah.
let's try to switch focus and do this. Deal. We
Yep.
gotta stop this, and it makes it hard. And
Yeah.
then once you beat this team, underdog or not, the next you get right back the next week. The next
Yeah.
game, you got to do this all over again
All over again.
and trying
Yeah.
to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. For
yeah.
sure. I like even when I look at like when I go back to the playoffs, when we talk about like we talked about the Rams playing Philly in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really, really break it down, it was like without the big obviously, yes, it had Saquon had the big runs, right? For the
Mm-hmm.
touchdown. Without those Saquon Barkley runs, like those big ones that scored touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
overall, from what I saw, we were the better team
Y'all played a great game.
outside of
They
those
had big plays.
two
Y'all
big
had big.
runs.
Yeah, it's big plays that just sometimes break your back, break the camel's
Yeah,
back, or
yeah,
set the game apart. And that's that's the name of the game. You got to try to limit the big plays because once you get a big play, it's like, ooh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
hurt.
yeah,
That hurt right there. Because
yeah,
y'all could have beat them.
yeah.
Y'all could have
I,
beat them.
I think had we won that game, we win the Super Bowl.
I ain't gonna go all that far.
Whoa.
Let's
Why you
stop.
say it like
Okay,
that? Why
let's
you say
just
it like
stop,
that?
Big Will. Like
No,
honestly,
you
come
don't.
on,
No,
bro.
you don't. Honestly, you don't think so? You don't really
I
think
don't
so,
know about that one. I
Adrian?
don't
You don't
think
think
so.
so?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe y'all was gonna win the Super Bowl.
Hey, come on, man. Come on,
No,
man. Come on now.
no.
You being disrespectful.
I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being honest. Like
Yeah.
you over there being like a Cowboy fan right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
No, I'm like, I'm like, no, don't compare me to no Cowboy fan. Now that is disrespectful.
yeah,
That
now
is
that was
that's
disrespectful right
disrespectful.
there.
I'm offended
I
by
don't,
that
I
one.
don't,
That's
I don't think
disrespectful.
so, Big Will. Like,
That's
y'all
fair.
played a great game, but I honestly don't think y'all would have probably beat KC. I don't think
Really?
so. No,
I think,
no.
hey, I think this year, I've seen some people predict San Francisco to be number one in the in NFC West.
Am I
I'm like,
surprised?
how?
No. Not 100% surprised, but I don't
How?
believe it. I don't believe it. Like I said, I'm not surprised because they gonna always roll with the favorite. Because when you look at San Francisco, they thinking offensively, and they thinking that okay, you got Nick Bosa still, we got Warner still, we still got a couple of players out there on defense. Healthy wise, we're gonna still be a problem if we're healthy.
Yeah,
And
but
we didn't lose much offensively.
but
I mean, we lost Debo, but he ain't do nothing last year.
no, he didn't. I like
We
the
already
more.
played last year without Brandon Ayuk, so guess what? We can only be better.
You know what's funny? The more I look at Debo, like y'all losing Debo, I'm like, is it really a loss? Because last year he wasn't really doing much. So is it a loss?
I mean, he's off the roster, so it's a loss.
It is, but I mean, but you know what?
So we lost him off the roster. You know what I'm saying? I like
Yeah,
Debo. You know what I'm saying? I like Debo. I like what he brought to the team, but we didn't utilize him like that last year. And plus, on top of that, he didn't like he had a breakout year either. He 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 was worse than mediocre. So
y'all tried to utilize him last year. He just wasn't
yeah,
it
I
last
mean,
year.
yeah, we did. He just couldn't catch passes apparently.
Period.
You know,
Like
and I don't know why he came to the game eating butter rolls. You know your fingers don't.
it's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? You get little buttery fingers, and you
Yeah,
eat a roll. You know what
Butterfingers.
I'm saying? Your
Yeah,
fingers get a little
get
buttery. You
butter.
know,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Stay up off them honey butter rolls. You know what I'm saying? You might have done something wrong. Like,
Yeah. But at the
but I
at the
think I think when you're looking at it and you're saying what have we lost versus what we retained. So when you're looking at, of course, we really didn't. We lost two running backs. Mitchell, he hasn't played much in years, unfortunately, because I like Elijah Mitchell.
yeah,
He was a heck of a back. I liked
yeah,
him. I didn't think that if he would have stayed healthy, I didn't think we would have needed a Christian McCaffrey if he was healthy. But he got injured, so the
right.
rest is history. Christian McCaffrey, he comes back. Hopefully he stays healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, we're in a world hurt again. I
Yeah,
like the rookie that we had last year. He did pretty good.
yeah,
So, but you know how our offense has always been plug and play. So, but especially with the running backs, it's
yeah,
always been a
yeah.
plug and play for our system with the running backs. So we don't really lose a lot just because our depth chart loses a couple of running backs.
Right, right, right.
We got McCaffrey out there still. We brought back we still got the young boy from I can't think of his name. I know it starts with a C. I can't think of his name though. I probably mispronounce it anyway. But that was the rookie from last year. He did really good in the time he had. Yeah, we lose Mason. I loved Mason. He was pretty good. I think we should have retained him. But, I'm not too big on that. I thought we should have worked on our line because I do think, like, when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, okay, Debo's gone. But we picked up Robinson, which I liked. That was a great pickup for us. And then with Debo being gone, that elevates Jennings
Yes,
to a
that's
more
your
bigger
guy.
role. Yeah. And then we got
Yeah,
Pearsall, whatever his name is, the rookie from last year. I liked
Pearsall.
what he was
Yeah,
doing in his little limited time. I like what I seen there. We bring back Ayuk. Hopefully Ayuk can be something of what he was the year prior to last year
right.
and catch some damn footballs because he was dropping them joints early too.
Yeah, he was.
So all that yik yakking you doing in the off season about you want a contract and then you go out here and you dropping balls, bro. I can't stand that, dog.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
annoying to me.
yeah.
Like especially for receivers. Look, you got one job: catch the damn ball.
That's it.
That's your main job. I don't
Yeah,
care if you get yak yards or not.
yeah,
If you catch the ball, we're getting yards.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
all I'm asking my receiver to
Right.
do. Get open and catch a damn ball. You dropping them, we can't go nowhere. All this stuff. So offensively, I don't think we lose a lot. Defensively, we lost some big names. But when I look at it, like we lost what's his name, Tufunga, who was that safety. I liked him. But we bring in we got old boy, the other guy that's back there now that
Yeah,
took over his spot last year that was hitting people like
yeah,
that
yeah,
was hitting folks.
yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. Didn't like losing the other linebacker, but he was coming
Uh,
off of ACL.
not Grant.
Uh, what is his name? He always escapes my mind, but he was the other one over there with Warner. It, I hated losing him, but I guess I can understand why. They had too much cap space that they need to get rid of.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, some people get cut. I just hope that we can fill it up. We've done a lot on defense this offseason to try to
fix
put
it.
people back in places, so I'm okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I hated losing Travarius Ward. I didn't like losing that, but yeah, the cornerbacks did pretty good last year. He was one of the ones I didn't want to lose, but we still got some solid cornerbacks. So I think we might still be a problem.
Right.
We bring in somebody like Salah who
Yeah.
knows the
Defense
organization. So I
and
think
knows
he's gonna be
he's a
pretty
great
good there.
defensive coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really feel like we gonna still be a problem. I don't think we're gonna
Yeah.
do what we did last year. We're definitely gonna win more than 6 games. So uh, that's why I'm like. Then you look at the other teams. The
Y'all
only
have
other
a
team that I
favorable
look at
roster.
the only other team that I look at from the NFC West that is going to be a problem is the Rams.
Yeah. Well, and
Seattle,
favorable
yeah,
schedule too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
But Seattle, they always going to be annoying. So is
Test.
Arizona. They're
Yeah.
always annoying.
They're
But you're
they're
not
just
looking at them as they're going to be top in the. No,
yeah.
I don't think they're going to be top in the NFC West at all. I think
Yeah.
they're going to be middle of the road, and it's just going to be between the Rams and 49ers once again.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Well, Do we have a y'all must have forgot, or we're gonna bring one back next week?
Let's bring one back next week, but before we go, let's replace it with the center thing that you wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Um, did you got a top 10? Do you have a top 10 for your centers? Let's say top five. Let's say top five. Your top five
Definitely
centers.
got a top five.
Okay. Well, who are your top five?
Though, so
And
gonna look at it 2 weeks. If I'm going for greatest of all time or my own personal favorites.
your own personal favorite.
Hakeem's one. I will put Hakeem one. I would say Shaq's two. Kareem would be three. And then I will put I'm gonna go Wilt at four. And then rounding out the top five would be I'm probably gonna go David Robinson.
Ooh, I like that David Robinson pick. I like that one. I like that
Yeah.
one.
I think that's what I'm gonna roll with. That'd be my top five.
Okay. So my top five, of course, Hakeem's number one for me. Number two for me. And then third, that's where we kind of have a little bit difference. For me, third is going to be Alonzo Mourning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I'm going to put Alonzo
Damn sure
Mourning.
didn't expect that. Mm-hmm.
And then Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
And so my fifth one, right? I could put like a Wilt Chamberlain. I could put a Bill Russell. I could put a Moses Malone. But
Oh yeah.
I'm
Moses.
gonna put
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put somebody up there that to me he's been unfairly judged. I'm gonna put Dwight Howard because of what I seen him be able to do with Orlando,
Okay.
carrying them to that championship year, right? People can argue that he had some pieces, and he did have some pieces, but what you can't argue is that if you take Dwight off that team,
On that Orlando team,
yeah,
did he really have pieces that people think that he did?
he had
Definitely some role players.
right.
Most of them were role players.
Yes.
Not really no all-star superstars.
Right.
That is a Dwight Howard definitely makes my top 10.
Yeah.
He makes my top 10.
Yeah. You cannot deny that he is one of the greater centers in NBA history, and I think he's unfortunately just unfairly judged. I think we judge a lot of the things based on that first time in LA.
Yep, I was about to say that. When he went to LA, that's when all of it started going downhill for him.
Yeah, that first time in LA, I think kind of throws a negative narrative. But no, Dwight Howard is
so
better.
Now that we done said that, I'm starting to round out more of the top 10. So let me go 6 through 10.
Okay.
So let me drop this out there. At number 6, I'm gonna probably put Yao Ming.
Okay. All right.
Yao Ming at 6.
All right.
He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Small career, bad boy.
Yeah. Okay.
I'ma slide Jokic at 7.
Okay.
I'll put Dwight at 8. I got Dwight at 8.
Okay.
Number 9, I'm gonna put Moses Malone at 9.
Okay.
And then I'll round out my top 10 with Mr. Dikembe.
Okay. Defensive guy.
Yeah.
Okay, my 6.
No. I love Alonzo Mourning though.
Yeah.
I love Alonzo Mourning, but Dikembe was a different.
You know what?
I think he gets it.
You know what it was for me with Alonzo Mourning. So like,
and people gonna kill me for not putting Bill Russell up there. I feel bad because I kind of want to put Bill Russell in there too.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's kind of hard because I never really seen Russell and Wilt
I get it
at the same time. But I put Wilt in there just because the numbers are astronomical, and I never seen Kareem, but you already know what Kareem do.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
Yeah. But that's my top 10.
That's your top 10. So 6. I got David Robinson. And 7, Nikola Jokic, because he's doing some things that we just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
8, Patrick Ewing, because I feel, here's the thing.
He's another one that was hard to not put him back in there. Yeah.
Patrick Ewing is one of the better centers. He's one of the New York Knicks are they fall victim to the Chicago Bulls, right? They just fall
Mm-hmm.
victim to the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks were Patrick Ewing was really good. It was just one of them things, man. Like
Yeah. Patrick Ewing was a
and
dog, bro.
yeah. And then from there, I got Dikembe Mutombo. And then I'd probably have to round it out with Bill Russell. And while I didn't see him play, to be able to do what he was doing consecutively, consistently for that long,
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah,
not to
and
put
that's
him.
why I kind of like he could probably replace if I'm gonna do it like that because I feel bad for not putting him in there. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like,
me, Yao just didn't do it long
let me
enough.
just I'm gonna replace him with Yao. I'm gonna replace Yao with him. I'll
Okay,
put Russell at 6, but Yao
okay.
was a bad boy in that short
Yeah,
man. He was a
no, he
definite
was.
problem. Matter
Yeah,
of fact, that's the y'all must have forgot. Go watch Yao Ming real quick.
yeah,
We just made one right up on the spot.
yeah, yeah,
Go watch Yao Ming,
yeah,
and then go
yeah.
watch a couple of Shaq interviews talking about Yao Ming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Y'all must
the
have
way
forgot,
that
bro.
Shaq
For
has
that
respect.
short
Yeah.
period of time,
Yeah.
and he became a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. 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 For sure. Go watch Yao Ming. Go watch Yao Ming. That's
If
the
he
y'all
never
must have
got
forgot.
injured, oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
You know what that Houston Rockets team could have done if Yao Ming was never injured?
Oh, with Steve Francis and oh
Steve
yeah,
Francis and Yao Ming, and then when they replaced him with Tracy McGrady and Yao
McGrady.
Ming,
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
McGrady has probably been on a lot of those teams like what ifs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For
Like,
sure.
what if McGrady wasn't injured? What if Grant Hill and McGrady were both healthy on Orlando?
Orlando. Yeah.
What if McGrady never left Toronto and he was with Vince Carter?
Yeah. There's a lot of what ifs. A lot of what ifs. A lot of
The
what
things we
ifs.
wanted to see didn't even know we wanted to see.
See, yeah. So like, well, I appreciate y'all for jamming with us. And come back, join us. Hope y'all listen through the whole thing. Like and
Mhm.
subscribe to the show. We always like engagement, so please, hop into
Yeah.
the conversation with us. We
Oh
do
yeah.
have the Facebook page. We have the TikTok page, the Facebook page, obviously YouTube. That's what you're
hmm
watching this on. So yeah,
And if
chop it
y'all
up
come
with
up
us.
with any ideas, y'all see some news that we don't see, shoot it on there with
Shoot,
us
yeah,
so we
yeah,
could talk about it.
yeah,
Let's get engaged.
yeah. All right, man.
All right, bro. Well, peace out.
Peace out.